All right, we are at the IRONMAN World Championship in St. George, Utah. With us today, HOKA triathlete, our longest tenured triathlete on our team, our family, the great Heather Jackson from the great state of New Hampshire and all over the world traveling since she was a kid. How are you?
Hi, Eugene. I'm okay. I'm doing okay.
Good.
Rough one yesterday, but I'm good. I'm good. I was grateful just to even be out there. I mean, I know there are so many women who couldn't even get to the start line for various reasons. So for me, it was anytime I was struggling yesterday, I thought, you know what, like so-and-so would have give anything to be where I am right now. So just chugged along.
Yep. I've watched you since in 2007. You won your age group in Kona, the 18 to 24-year-old, and that's a real check mark on becoming a pro, and you did it well. You performed a long time now as a pro. Yesterday, what was the toughest part of your day?
Ooh, toughest part. I had a tough swim, which I'm actually used to. So it wasn't that itself. It's that it set me up to be solo all day. So I basically, from about halfway through the swim, when I lost the pack I was in, I swam that second half, so about 30 minutes swim alone, and then the whole bike I was alone, whole run, just getting through it. So it was a long solo day where you have to draw within yourself to just keep pushing, giving everything you have out there, keeping in your mind that anything can happen. Someone could be walking up the road, so you can never give up because you never know what's going on ahead of you. But you definitely have to, like, you're not in that racing where you're side by side running with someone or having those sort of battles. You're battling yourself, trying to keep giving everything.
You know, coming from the East Coast, a little bit of swimming, you were playing hockey as a kid, not swimming. And, with that, a few years ago at this 70.3 here, you had a little challenge in the water. How'd that work out from the neck up, and how'd the wetsuit sort of affect your body on the bike and the legs on the run?
Exactly, yeah. I was hesitant even coming here to start with at the start of the year. That. Like, I was like, I'm not excited about this. I've struggled here twice. In one of those races, I ended up in an ambulance. I had a full-blown panic attack in the water. It was freezing. My wetsuit was too tight up top, and it makes you panic. And I got I think it's called SIPE or something.
Right, swim-induced pulmonary edema.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so coming into a race where you have that experience, it's tough because you're mentally like, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And I had that for a bit, and then I kind of shifted the mindset of like, no, like, come here to overcome that. Come here to actually like beat that mindset and beat those demons out there. And we came here early all last week. I got in the water every single morning at race start time, and until it was just like any other race, until it was like I was pretending I was at Wildflower, one of my favorite courses. That was a sweet day. So I felt okay going into the swim start. I'm like, it's not going to happen. You're going to have a good swim. And I didn't panic. And I had an okay swim until about halfway through when the far turn, there were a bunch of media boats. It got super choppy and I lost the group, and I was struggling to get back on, and slowly they just pulled away. So it was just a lapse in like staying on those feet. And then all of a sudden, that's why the swim is tough. Like, so, that was,
well, it's about the comeback, not the setback, as Dave McGilvery says back in New England. So on the bike, you kept 22.88 miles per hour, almost 23 miles an hour by yourself. What was that like? And how were your legs when you got off the bike?
This course is tough, and everyone was saying that, and I knew that going in, and I love these type of courses, but it was next level tough. I love Lake Placid, Coeur d'Alene, like courses that are like this hilly, but this truly was next level.
Yeah.
It's up and down, and some are super short and steep, and then others, I mean, coming down from Bayo all the way down, that's a long descent where you have to stay on it. And it's different dynamics riding than 10 miles earlier when you're climbing a super steep pitch. So your legs get really just zapped.
Yeah, and Lake Placid, boy, that's a great example. You've won there, and yet this is a notch up. This really is a world championship course.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Yeah. You went and made up 6 spots on the bike, although you said you were isolated and solo most of the ride. What was it like when you were taking off the athletes one by one, your peers, on the bike?
That was that was probably the most uplifting part when I would get into some of the straight stretches, because you can see them up the road. So if they're only a minute up, 2 minutes up, 3 minutes up, you're able to see them. So that gives you at least a target. So I was just like, okay, just one at a time, just work your way up. So that helped a bit for sure, to get through that second half of the bike. But yeah, then it started to get hotter. Snow Canyon was so hot.
Oh yeah.
It almost felt like the energy lab, but on the bike, because I think we had a tailwind there or something, but it was blocked in. So it was just like,
you grew up in New Hampshire. You lived in Washington, D.C., working at the Capitol after high school, or right at high school. You went over to Japan and taught kids English, and you went all over the world and travel race. Talk about St. George and the beauty of it. How was that?
Yeah, St. George was, it's beautiful here.
It was hot.
It's hot, it's windy, but it is beautiful. And I tried to come in with an open mind this year, just, again, given my past experience here of like, okay, does it have that feel that, like, when I step off the plane in Kona, it's like a transformation of like, you can feel the island gods. I'm like,
yes.
So all week I was trying to give it that potential. I never got the aloha vibes, but I was still trying to give it that, like, okay, this is a beautiful place. And it is, like, in its own right in beauty. The red rocks, how, like, just tough of a landscape it is. I give it that for sure. You
really did have a great swim, an hour. You really did have a great bike, sub 5 hours. And then at 12:20 in the afternoon, you get off the bike, beautiful bike, and you got to put on your beautiful HOKA shoes. Yeah. You laced up the shoes, quick laces, I'm sure. 12:20 in the afternoon. It's very hot. What was that like? What were your legs like? And how did the shoes perform? And what was it like out there on the run? And having worked the race myself, I know the cheers the athletes get when they go by. As I said to you on the text last night, you are the most loved American athlete out there. What's that like?
No, thanks, DG. Appreciate that.
No problem. It's the truth.
No, that's literally what keeps me going. I mean, everyone's shouting your name. You have the full hill, the whole HOKA hill. That was epic. I mean, it's just cool. Blue, and you're like, everyone's screaming your name. So you can't like stop or walk when you have that going. And so for me, it truly does every race keep you pushing, because all these people are just screaming your name. So for me, it's just, I'm so grateful for it. I love it. I just soak it in and keep pushing. So the run, it was great. My carbon rockets were amazing as always, like super light, get up the hills, down them. I would say I was good through halfway when I came down the hill and was making the turn. I was right around 1:30. So I'm like, okay. Because I thought possible on this course sub 3 hours, which I think only one person did. But if you're on, you can push the downs of what you might lose going up those hills. So I was right around 1:30 at the half. So I'm like, okay, not bad, even though it wasn't feeling amazing. And then maybe 3 miles later, it just hit. I had major stomach issues, and I had to go to the bathroom probably 5 times.
It happens. Yeah, we could tell by looking at the tracker whether you were going up or down. We certainly knew.
Or into the porta potty.
Yes. Knowing your husband for over 25 years, watching him develop in this sport ourselves, Waddy, I know how much he does for you, how much he loves you, and how much you love him. It's great. The family, we are family at HOKA, and we're an extended family for you. Waddy was there this week, obviously, and always for you. But talk about Chris and Diane, your parents. They race with her all over the world, Lake Placid, Oceanside. I've seen both of you race, all of you, your parents and your family, and other races. They charted a vacation that they couldn't get out of. They weren't here this year. What was that like?
Yeah, I think, I mean, they felt so bad not to be here. And I kept telling them, like, you have supported me for 37 years of everything that I've ever done.
Everything. That's a lot of hockey mornings.
Oh, my God. Hockey, soccer, everything. So the fact that the vacation was what was meant to be Kona. And so for me, they were going to go to Kona to support me. And they were going to eat whatever it was in a VRBO fee to not take it when they had offered it to them, which was this week. So I'm like, can't not do that just because, once again, I'm, So for me, I was like, no, you're going to be in Kona in October. For me, that's the one that, I've always dreamed of. I always set my sights on. And So yeah, they weren't here, but they were here in spirit.
Absolutely.
They were here watching all day online. So
Yeah, and you know, even though they weren't there, your family around you from
Had all
HOKA
of you
is
guys
with
here.
you.
Yes.
And just know that we're so happy to have you as part of our team, and so pleased that you had such a good day, and you look so good today. So thank you for being here, Heather Jackson.
Thanks, EG. Thanks, HOKA.
All right. From the Ironman World Championship here in St. George, Heather Jackson.